In theory, you watch the Yildirim Darrell fight. He seems like a game opponent that's coming to fight, right? Why can't it be just that Canelo is that great, and he made a guy that normally would go fight? Right,
mate.
exactly.
I know.
So,
You watch it, right? And I watched the Callum Smith fight, and Callum Smith was the #1 ranked super middleweight in the world, right? Ring Magazine
yes,
champion. He's a friend of mine. I've promoted him since it was a debut. It was almost a mismatch, and it's like, I watched this guy, and this was the first event where I really got to spend some time around him. The confidence oozing off this man. Like, I can't tell you, I went for lunch yesterday with him. He's just like, him, let's fight him. And he's like, this is no problem. Like, you have to remember, he boxed Floyd Mayweather 7 years ago, right? And we were laughing yesterday because I said to him, Billy Joe Saunders, 8 years ago, Billy Joe Saunders is a tough fight, Sal. And he's like, for 3 rounds, he go like this, and and his English is so underrated. Like,
of course, we know,
isn't he, right?
Trust me.
And he's like, and he says, I said, but it won't be easy work like Yildirim. He says, he said, Yildirim was easy work. He says, Callum Smith was easy work. He said, Billy Joe Saunders is easy work, And we laughed about people saying to him that you struggle with movement, right? So I said, when you box Lara, when you box Trout, he said, he just laughed. He was like, as if to say, I was a kid then.
Yeah.
Right. Do you know what I mean? People kind of get confused with the fact that when he was in those fights, he was 30% of the fighter that he is now. And he's like, the aura that he's giving off, but he's just Eddie, he's so confident.
Outside of him evolving as a fighter, right, in terms of skill in the ring, one thing I've noticed, and I think it's good for boxing, he's evolving as an entertainer, right? The first, when he fought Callum Smith, you guys did a great job, with the ring entrance. This was over the top in Miami with Jay Balvin. He knows culture, he knows English, like you're saying.
Yeah.
Is he evolving to a mega superstar that knows how to entertain before even the fight happens?
Yeah, and we've only had 2 fights with him so far, but the first thing that I said to him when we sat down before the Callum Smith fight was, I want you to be a superstar, right? And he is, but sometimes you don't get the access to him. Sometimes you don't see that cheeky little personality. Sometimes you don't realize how good his English is. Sometimes you don't know about the circles that he mixes in and the stars that love him, like Jay Balvin. I mean, he called Jay Balvin and said, look, would you like to sing me out? And Jay Balvin, oh my God, like, it was like, wow, serious? This guy, this superstar with 45 million Instagram followers, came down on Friday for 3 hours to practice. He brought 62 people with him, right? In a backing set, in the the sound and engineers, and his backing dancers. That's a major production. But what people don't realize about Saul is such a huge personality, right? He's funny, he's cool, he's smart, he's endearing, he loves the sport. He's just like a kid. Like, he's just like, when you spend time around, a bit like AJ, right? When I think to myself, if you could always see the real Anthony Joshua, well, he'd be 20 times bigger than he is. I mean, you guys have been around him. Like, 100%. How much energy has he got? How much, like, it's just, and the same with Saul. They're very similar. And now what we're trying to do is we're trying to establish Saul as a superstar. And when people watch that, like they watched it on Saturday night, they watch that, they watch the J Balvin, they watch the fireworks, they watch the ring walks, because we know he can fight. Like, he's the best fighter in the world. We don't need to sell that. Everyone knows that. But is he a superstar? Well, watch that and tell me he ain't a superstar. I mean, this guy his ceiling is just endless.
You sound like you're gonna be promoting him a little bit longer than just one more fight. That's just the way you say it. You got the Canelo shirt on.
But things are really good at the moment. Like, we got a really great relationship where we deliver all our promises. We have a vision for him. He's enjoying it. I mean, the reason that I went so OTT on Saturday is with the first ring walk with Callum Smith, I went into a change room after the fight and he had a laptop up and he was like this. And I went over, I said, what are you looking at? And he was watching his entrance back. And he said to me, no one's ever done that for me before. And I'm like, how? You're the pound for pound #1 in the sport. It's not even like you're a great fighter that doesn't have a following. You're the biggest draw in American boxing, maybe world boxing, right? How can you not feel like a superstar? How can you not have that kind of production? And now we get into a rhythm of saying that every Canelo fight, there is something obscene with the ring walk, right? So people start going, wow, what are they going to do this time? I mean, we're under pressure. How do you top that? We'll try and find a way. But that's what it is. When you go to a Canelo Alvarez fight, you're going for the show. You're going for the celebrities. You're going for the stars. You're going for the music, the fireworks, to watch this absolute icon of the sport. And we're really stepping up the levels. I really feel like his popularity, his brand value, all of this kind of stuff in the last 2 fights has really escalated. And Miami was a major move, major coup. And actually,
listen, can Miami be a place? Can Miami be a venue for boxing in the future?
How nice was it to be in Miami?
It was amazing.
It's funny because it's quite a funny story. So we had the choice between Texas, Dallas, and Miami, right?
Yes.
I really like the idea of going to Miami, but as you know, Miami is such an unproven city, and Florida is an unproven state for boxing, right? And selling tickets. Right. But I thought it's Canelo. But Dallas, Texas is like a home run. You put them on sale, bang, they go first of all. So really, I'm thinking, with everything going on in the world right now, Miami's a risk, but let's go to Dallas, Texas. So Eddie Reynoso, Canelo said, yeah, Texas, let's go. They didn't want to approve any events in Texas until March. So I was having arguments with the commission there. I even got Saul to do a video to the commissioner, and they said no. So in the meantime, I've gone back to Saul and given him the big sell about Miami, right? You know what? I've been thinking, you're a star, Miami, blah, 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 blah. So he's gone, okay, look, let's think about it. In the meantime, one day later, Texas came back and said, we've been thinking about it. We'll stage the event. I thought, wow, that's great news. I phoned up Sal and Eddie Reynoso, and Sal says, I've been thinking about what you said. I think we should go to Miami. I was like, oh, because I'd already put the sell into him, right? And obviously with the problem with the weather, we would have had big problems going to Texas last week anyway. So it was a blessing, really.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
It couldn't have been a better decision. I mean, we love Texas. We're going there in a couple of weeks for Estrada Chocolatito, but that was just magical. Miami,
it was magical.
To do it where it hadn't been done before. We know we can go to Texas every time with Sal and sell the place out. We just did it in San Antonio. We know we can go to Vegas, but that was like a first time. And he just felt, like I said about his brand value and his exposure and his ceilings, just like, wow, you just went and sold out Miami and put on this incredible show in Miami. And you did that in San Antonio in December. And in May, you're going to go to Vegas or wherever you might be. Mm-hmm. And then beyond that, we spoke yesterday about if he beats Billy Joe Saunders, if he beats Caleb Plant, that's when we go international. We look at the Middle East, we look at China, we look at the UK, and these are all things he wants to do. He told me yesterday he wants to box for 7 more years.
Oh, wow.
And I'm not sure what else you can achieve in those 7 years. But that's when, you grow and you grow internationally. And there's a lot of places he wants to visit and still a lot of boxes he wants to tick.